Hello guys, a great morning to all who tuned into the realest thing coming out of Guyana. And sorry for being late. Obviously it's nothing new with me. Because it seems like I'm the only person in this country always out of time. But you got issues you just got to deal with all the time as the issues come. The question this morning is, you know, allegations flying all about the place. Alligators are saying all kind of things. Allegations, alligators. You know, the other question up there that I have today is whether Kaieteur News is good or bad for Guyana, and where Kaieteur News is taking Guyana. What Kaieteur News' intention is, if in the interest of getting sensational stories, they're willing to do anything and maybe even destroy this country. That is some of the things that are running through my head. Somebody sent an article to me this morning that Kaieteur News, it's actually their editorial. So, now, full disclosure, Glenn Lal, I refer to as Uncle Glenn, is somebody known to me and has always been, has always shown me a nice face. And although we have our differences, I would cuss he would cuss me, it's a mutual understanding in us using these kind of, terms, cuss out, to get our message across to each other. It's no hard feelings, right? But I constantly worry as to what Glenn Lal's program is. After reading an editorial this morning that, and I'll get into the editorial just now because we got some serious business to look after. I have a mother who called me this morning in tears and is distressed about the situation that her kids Pam Singh, yes, I understand. So the man calls me a clown. Okay. I could live with that. So let me call back this mother because she called me obviously upset this morning. Can't contain her. Hope all is well. We get some new. So let me see if I could get back to this mother. Telling me a story. Are you guys getting... Hello? Oh shucks, let me call you back. Wrong buddy. Oh shit, same number. Wrong person again. Hi, good morning, sweetheart. Are you the person I spoke to this morning?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Critic.
Okay, so no need to mention your name because in cases where with this form of abuse and these kind of things, I'm saying you don't need to. If you want to, you're an adult. You can make an informed decision for yourself. No need to mention the kid's name. Kids are, teenagers are very sensitive and it could be embarrassing sometimes for them. But it is up wholly and solely up to you. I'm on my live this morning, and although we have serious pressing issues in this country, I think in light of the fact you called me this morning and the state that you were in, I give you first preference with your story. Tell me where this all began.
This all began since the first time that I met my ex-husband.
Yeah.
And we were living in Red Lock, which is heading to Mainstay. There the resort before Mainstay. Not resort, the beach before Mainstay. I was living there. That is where my firstborn I got. Then it was problems. The problem started there, and we end up moving to Charity.
You said problems start there. What problem started there?
The problem started with my ex-husband and my mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law.
Okay.
We started having issues because he hadn't married me and I had a child for him, and the mother was Christian and they had a long history ahead. So the problem started there. Anyhow, we moved from there and we end up living in Charity. We started renting a house in Charity in the housing scheme where I got my first son. So I had my daughter that is 1 year old, and then after then I got my son. From then abuse started in the relationship with us. Mr. Critics, I bear with that relationship for 9
When you
years.
say abuse, was this physical abuse? Was he hitting you, cussing you? Explain to me what abuse
Yes,
is for you.
it was brutally. It was brutally. It was brutally. It was beating. It was one time he kicked me from the top of the step when I was pregnant for my son to the bottom of the step. That is when I take in the night with my son to get my son. When my son born with an extra cap on his head, which they had to send to Trinidad to test, but I never followed up the matter because back then I was young. I didn't take in everything to seriousness, because every time he do something, I always accept the apology that he bring to me. Every time I walk away, I accept the apology, keep living and living until I decide to end it in 2014 in June month.
How many children would you have had for him by 2014 June?
It was 3 girls and 1 boy.
Okay. So you guys separated. Tell me what happened there.
From there, I separated from him 2014, couple days after my birthday in June. And from then on, we started living misery. Every time I change a place, he always find where we live in. Always come and just embarrassing me, embarrassing my children. We moved to Zeeburg, a place called Area G, where we were living. I end up meeting someone else, and I'm living with him until now. That is my husband. That is a person that I will always pay respect to. We lived here for approximately 3 years. When he started looking, we end up in a welfare office.
All the time you're having your kids?
Yes, all the time. I didn't. When I leave him, I didn't leave with anything. We had everything. Every single thing we had, but it was no use. Money was no use then, because when we go on the road, I had to operate like I was a happy person living together with him. I had to pretend all the years that I had to pretend that there was nothing going on, that there wasn't a problem. I have violence, a mark on my skin where I lie down in my bed and he tried to chop off my 2 foot. I just pull away. I have 3 on one side and 1 on the other side. The last one that he gave to me, it was 9 stitch in, 9 stitch out on my knee. So it was a terrible, terrible life with him. And even when I leave him from that relationship, he still burdened me down with my children. The neighbors that I live around, he come and he talk all sorts, the nastiest thing that he could have talked about me. Embarrass me, embarrass my children. That finished there. We didn't have that much money. So a girl offered me a work just to go 9 days. She had a problem with some vehicle dealer that she take the vehicle from. We were living opposite them. And I took the job to run her shop at Puroni. She said she would give me $60,000 for 9 days. I went over and I talked to the mother of the girl and asked them to watch my children for me. That I will take the work because we in need of the money and I'm going to run the shop for her. Not knowing it was a setup that he had already come to these people and set me up, Mr. Critics. Within 7 days, this girl come back in the back dam to take over the shop. Give me $19,000 and turn to me and tell me if I know what go on. So I tell her, no, I don't know if my children is safe. That is the first thing I asked her. She said no, that the children ain't safe, that the welfare come and take away the children them. So I asked her, how come? She said that how the father bring the welfare and tell the welfare that I gone away and leave the children. So I asked them if they may stand up for me, if they may explain and tell the welfare what go on, that you leave me to run the shop for 9 days in the back dam and you're coming back just because I need this money to keep my children going. She said she had no chance because she was in the salon and she carried my mother in the salon. A whole heap of nonsense. This time they had already put 2 and 2 together and set me clean. When I came out the very day that I reached out, the best I try I could have reached out the earliest. When I come to the lady and explain to the lady, ask the lady what going on. The lady tell me by the time she come back from the salon, she hear that the welfare went to the school, pick up the children. When I asked the lady what was the problem if she didn't look after my children, the lady said that me children them didn't want to stay over by she, which is a big lady and my children them was small at that time, which they couldn't control themselves. She had the control over them. Just put my children in her care for 9 days, and this is how I end up.
So you lost your children.
When I find out where the children was, I go down. He had a woman at Greenwich Park that he was living with. When I go to Greenwich Park, I see got the children them in the house. So I find out from him. He said that I can't go to the welfare now because I gonna go to jail. So I said, no, I wouldn't go to jail. I'm going to the welfare. Anyhow, he tell me said that how the welfare them ain't gonna open because it was Saturday. No, it was a Sunday that the story happened. I said, okay. The Monday morning, call the welfare and I'm going down to the welfare. He said, okay, call the welfare there and then. I tell the welfare, the girl, like he had a contact with the girl at the welfare office. Because when he called, he get direct to this girl. When he called to the girl, he tell the girl that the mother for the children them come out from the back dam and that how should they stand up right here. So the girl turned and tell him because he had the phone on speaker. And the girl tell him that he must bring me down to the office tomorrow. That was the Monday. When we go down to the office, Mr. Critics, I didn't even get a word after to talk nothing about my children. I sit when they call me in the place. It was a girl. I can't remember her first name, but her last name was Allen, Alleny or something like that. I can't remember, but her last name was Allen, which in his surname to Allen. And all she tell me to sit, didn't ask me no question, nothing. All I saw was 2 neighborhood police come. And she said, I got to go with the police them. So I said, I am not getting to speak for myself. She said she don't want to hear nothing, that I got TB. That me, the children father tells she that I got TB and she don't talk to TB people. That was her words to me. They took me down to Vreeden Hook Station. Have me there for about 2.5 hours. Go around, come around and asking these police, what am I here for? They never give me an answer. When the vehicle ready to leave from Vreeden Hook to come down to Lenora, one of the officers say, yeah, carry her and see what's going to go on there because them ain't got no report about me at Vreeden Hook. I eventually come down at Lenora Police Station. When I come down to Lenora Police Station now, they got me about 1 hour and something. They sit again waiting. No report. They can't find no report again. When I reach a brown clothes officer, East India man, I decide to go and talk to him. when I go and talk to him now, he said, girl, you need to go back to the welfare officer and find out what's going on. And just see if you got to go to court or what they're going to do, because we ain't seeing nothing here for you. The man said you could go home, relax yourself, because I was totally frustrated and confused. Confused, Mr. Critics.
Where were your children
When
at this
I
time?
leave the Lenora station, I come back. I asked him for the number. He said that I can't get the girl number. You know what was his words? That is his cousin, the welfare officer is his cousin, and she gonna do anything in the power to get what he got to be done, because as long as he working and he got money in the pocket, knocking up his pocket, as long as he got money, everything gonna be done. When I was getting brutalized, when I go to Lenora police station and I report there was a man named Mr. McIntyre. He know the man, and every time when I go to make a report, he always reach there and giving the man money, bribing the man. And when I say I want the matter to go to court, when I'm ready to go to court, there is no report. I had no voice speaking out for myself. I had just lame. I just left everything.
While you're doing all of this running around,
money to push to do nothing.
while you're doing all of this running around, where is your kids at this time?
One of my eldest son is in town with his uncle on holiday.
No. I'm talking about when you came out of the bush and the social ministry of social protection took away the welfare, took away the kids from your home. Where were they while you doing all this running around and running the station?
They were with the father at Greenwich Park.
So
The children were with the father at Greenwich Park, at the woman that he had there.
Okay. Now, this is what year?
This is in 2022.
No. We there in 2022. What we talking about? When you come out the bush and so, we talking about recently?
No. This is a while back. This is years back. I'm talking about from the story that started, how it started happening.
Yeah, no, but that was what year when the children were babies and he carried them away from you?
That was in 2017.
2017, roger that. Now,
Yes, that was in 2017.
he got possession of them. Did you ever get back your kids?
No, I didn't get back my kids. I didn't have that opportunity because he went behind my back to the court again. And
Did
take
you-
a lawyer private and made a paper and send the paper to me that he don't want me to have nothing to do with my children.
Did you sign that document?
No, I did not.
Did
sign
you at
it
any
because-
time stand up in a court of law where a judge or a magistrate told you what are the orders and what are the rules you got to follow?
No, it was never like that, Mr. Critics. I never went to court because they never had a paper come to me to go to court for my children specific.
Have you ever sought the advice of a lawyer?
No, I didn't have, because I know I had to get money to do it, and I didn't reach that standard.
Well, if you go to Mirage Building, you know where Mirage
Yes.
Building is? On King and Charlotte Street?
King and Charlotte Street. Maybe if I ask the direction, I would get it, Mr.
That is
Critics.
opposite the High Court, just behind the High Court. You ask
In
anybody,
Georgetown?
yes, in Georgetown, where Mirage Building is, and there's the
Yes.
public defenders there, they're lawyers that are paid by the government, and they represent you. You tell them this is the first thing, we're going to go through your story in detail, but you go there, you
Yes.
tell them, because you need to have the proper and requisite representation, right?
Yes, Mr. Critics.
Now,
Thank
where
you
are
very
we
much
are
for your
today?
advice.
Where are we are today? Why did you call me hysterical and all crying this morning? What's going on?
Because I had the two children, the two smallest girls, come over for a holiday. And upon that again, I bought some stuff for their schooling because I didn't get in a chance. Every time I try calling them or contacting them. The stepmother always blocking my contact, taking away the phone. They can't get contact with me. Now I get contact with my son, and I tell my son, because I buy some stuff for him, and I tell him when he go back to Essequibo, because he's in town with my brother, when he go to Essequibo, because he has to go and collect his school voucher that the government had shared the $1,000 grant. I tell him to tell his sisters that I bought some school things for them, and I don't know how they would get to collect it, if they can get to come and spend a few days with me, if they can, or if I have to carry it down just to see them.
How much years you haven't seen your kids?
Pardon me?
How much years you haven't seen your kids?
I haven't seen my kids in almost 4 years and 6 months.
Not one time?
No, not one time. I wasn't allowed.
You weren't allowed as a result of the father telling you can't see your kids? Or as some...
Yes, no, as the father telling me I can't, along with the stepmother. They has the control over everything that is going on.
Let me tell you something if you don't know. I am no lawyer, judge, or magistrate, and by no means the authority on matters like this, but I can tell you what is the laws of this country. There is no way, unless a mother has been found to grossly neglect her children, there is no way that the father gets possession of those kids. Now let me break it down for you in terms where you understand. When one story happen and a woman want to pick up, she pick. When the story happen, nobody don't say, it don't be, well, oh, let's figure out what we could do with these kids. The mother, the biological mother of those kids, have possession of those kids immediately. I, unlike others, luckily have had possession and took care of my 3 boys when my ex and me separated. But that is because of a mutual understanding. She was abroad and I said, here, I will give you a divorce. I want sole custody of my children. We agreed on that. She signed a document to the extent, and I never stopped her from seeing her kids. If she calls, we don't talk, but if she calls and says, Paul, jump on a plane and come, they don't ask me, well, what? There's just an agreement. There's not law. But they could go as them because she is their mother. Now, I understand that there's some unique circumstances, and at one point in time, you accept that at some area, you have neglected the children, but you went, and you got a reason. You went for get money, for mind them, you went for 9 days, right? They were taken away from you. But, when a mother is not allowed to see her children, the only body can decide on that is a judge. And she clearly has to be told. Right away, the mother has to be told, you can't see the children because it's what? And that only happens when you got real abusive parents. Children are found to be grossly neglected. You understand? Even if it's visitation you're supposed to get, you can't miss your children for 4.5 years. I'm just explaining. I can't verify what you're telling me, but I'm telling you what is the law. Now, when you break up with a man, like how you get the kids them first, that is it. He can't do nothing. He got to go and ask for visitation. The law doesn't prescribe, well, who we giving it. No. Their mother first hand. You understand? So, there's something wrong with the situation here. And even if you're found to have neglected your children, you got somebody got to listen to you, then they got to hear, oh, well, you've been through this abusive relationship. You left the man. You needed the money at the time. You left your kids with people who you thought you could have trusted, and the same people that you went and worked with. You understand? Now, they have to assess what your situation is. What is your mindset? Are you capable of taking care of kids? Why did you leave them in the first place, right? So they accept that. Are you in a better position now Because even when you would have passed through hardships, you now made amends, made adjustments, have a stable relationship, you understand? And might be
Yes.
financially better off. So now
Yes.
an assessment has to be done again.
Yes, Mr. Critics.
You understand? So,
Yes, Mr. Critic.
all of that being said, whatever happens, you have to seek legal advice. Because either you don't understand what you've gotten yourself into, or there's just a gross miscarriage of justice. But I tell you, it is highly unlikely that anybody would say that here, you can't give us you kids behind your back. A magistrate would watch you in your face. People, the law, the judicial system takes these things very seriously. You understand? So they will watch, the judge will watch your face and say, you is not a good mother and you can't see these children. It wouldn't happen and you don't know it happened. You
Yes,
understand?
Mr. Critics.
They go to extreme extents to explain to you why you can't see kids. Because it's like ripping a woman's heart out.
Yes, it's true.
So seek legal advice. Where we are today with these children. Do you have a number for the children's father?
No?
Do you have a number for the children's father?
Yes, they have. I don't have it on person, but my daughter's with me. They have it.
Well, please send it to me on WhatsApp also. I'd like to hear what he has to say. So continue. Where you are, your children are with you right now.
Yes, I have my two smallest daughters with me.
And what have they been telling you since they're back with you? Now, again, they're back with you as a result of their coming. Did the father send them to collect these things, these school things? You said you had some school things to them?
Yes, I bought some school things. I went to Anna Regina to pick them up, to collect them and bring them with me.
Who handed them over to you?
Yes, he handed them over to me.
Okay. And when did you tell him you were taking them back?
Well, he didn't mention a specific times. He told the children in 2 weeks they would have to be back.
Okay. Now, clear as day, it is clear as day that he doesn't have documentation to suggest he got unlimited access to the children. I tell you, no judge will have any sane and right-minded thinking mother ripped away from her kids. So you need to seek legal advice as soon as we're finished here.
Yeah, the critics.
Now, I don't know. I'm thinking and highlighting your story. People are going to hear and understand what's going on, and I'm glad you did call so I could educate you on how these processes go. But
And I'm grateful for it.
what do you want now? Why are we having this conversation? You have the kids back. What's going on? Tell me.
Yes, I called because my two daughters that came up for the holiday and come to collect the school things, they had made some complaint that I didn't expect to hear what they are going through.
How old are they?
Pardon me?
How old are they?
My second daughter would be 14 in October, and my smallest daughter is 12.
Okay. So tell me what's going on.
Do you mind me putting them to explain more themselves on what is going on at home back where they are living with the stepmom and dad?
With your consent, yes.
Yes, sure. Come
Just
out.
their voices are going to be heard.
Abigail?
Don't call their name. Just call them.
Oh, yeah.
Am I speaking to the youngest one or the eldest one?
The youngest one would speak first.
Okay.
Say good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sweetheart. I am here on a live program and your mother called very upset this morning. Explaining some things you guys are going through. And I know in general, she's just explained. I don't know, you were listening to what your mother was saying all the time?
Yes.
Um, is she truthful about what she's saying, being away from you guys for almost 4.5 years now?
Yes.
Okay. Um, uh, has your mother asked you to say anything specifically, or are you under any duress at this time? Meaning, is your mother forcing you to say what you're about to say?
No.
Okay. Um, do you love your mother?
Yes.
Do you love your father?
Yes.
Okay. Um, what's going on at home before you came back to visit your mother?
Our father used to curse like a lot when he came home drunk. Like every Friday, he go out to mean stay and drink with his friends. And when he come home at night, he's curse me and my big sister.
And what does your stepmother say about this? Hello? Yes. Does your father tell you anything about your mother? Why you can't see your mother, or why your mother doesn't come around, and so on?
All he's told me that she's the bad one. He's talk like she's always the bad one.
Who do you want to be with at this time?
My mother.
Okay, I need not to hear anymore. Let me talk to your mom. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Critics.
I don't
Sorry
think
about this.
it's okay.
Yes,
It's
Mr.
okay.
Critics.
I don't think I need to talk to the eldest one, but I think your kids, yourself, need to sit down with um, somebody from social protection, maybe the welfare officer, and get to the bottom of this.
I need
Um,
somebody that I could trust, that I really could talk to, and they could listen my story.
I will, when I'm finished off of the program, I'll make some calls and try to make sure you're connected with the right persons to ensure that you get help.
Yes, Mr. Critics. Thank you very much.
I'll call you when I'm finished here.
Thank you.
I am by no means an authority. I am just a father who too have had my shortcomings, and understand the importance of when my ex left us and the boys, one is still very much affected by that. And what I did not do is stop her from seeing them. I did in retrospect of what our relationship or how it ended. I did make sure I got my kids, access to my kids. But when I took sole custody of my kids, it was wholly, solely the intention that I could access them anytime I want. But really, not because she was a neglectful mother, they couldn't have had a better mother. At the time, I couldn't have had a better wife. Right? So when we separated, I say, here, me want custody of my kids, but me got sole custody, I can access them anytime, but you even got to talk to me for access them. Right? Because I didn't want to end up in something like that where she holding my kids away from me. So I understand the pain. Well, I try to understand the pain of that mother. But I've never given birth to a child. I have never carried a child for 9 months. I can't begin to fathom what motherhood is. I can't begin. So, hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I live or?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. I just want to, morning, Critic. I just want to make something known to you, and I guess the listeners. The Miss World competition that took place a few days ago. I just wanted you guys to know, there were no sponsors for the girls. And it was like, it seems to me it was a money-making thing. So most of the girls had all the expenses on their own. They had to find the dresses, tickets, even for the stylist to go backstage.
You're talking about the event that I judged in?
Did you judge in the Miss World competition?
The Beauty with a Purpose, the last thing that was held at Princess?
The overall thing.
Well, ma'am, I don't know if you know, but I have been directly associated with Miss World Guyana.
Oh, so I can't speak to you.
No, you can. You can speak to me.
Okay.
But I will advise you.
Uh-huh.
Miss World doesn't give, you don't go there to get money. If you went to the last event, you would see there's a listing. Get the black file out there for me, please. There's a listing. They have to seek sponsors. That is what they do. Miss World get girls together from all the regions and help them to build their capacity. You don't go and show your face and they hand out money to you.
I hear your point. I get your point. It's not about getting money, but it's a pageant. It's a beauty pageant. They're putting themselves out there. So they're spending, they're buying dresses. They're young ladies. Where do they come up with all of that money?
Yes, ma'am. I don't think.
All of that money? It's
Yes.
not right.
No. I think you're mistaken. Let me I am telling you, I'm not asking you, ma'am. Let me read what are some of the listings that they're judged based on. Here now, let me read some of the listings.
You read it and I'll hang up and I'll hear what you read.
No, listen, I want you to stay on. Because you could.
I will hear. You're live.
Okay,
I hear when you
beautiful.
read it out, but just, yeah.
Now, so you see how the world is a small place? I was a judge just 2 nights ago at the Miss World Beauty with a Purpose, right? So for clarity, and you always get, I've been behind this for years now, directly associated with it for years now. This is the judging sheet, right? So fundamental questions must be answered and identified, repeated during each phase of the judging. Now here with the judging point. Timeline for projects. The candidate has a tangible and realistic timeline for her project on all phases of her project, and this is clearly communicated. She got to tell you what she's doing. They don't dole out money to you to go and do what you want to do with it. This is not a government organization. This is not your pageant that she's saying is a pageant. You walk and look nice. No. You got a brain. Funds raised. The candidate has an accurate amount of funds raised and able to provide proof to validate her claims. This is consistent with her proposal. That is consistent with her proposal and timeline. You gotta go to a business and say, here, I am a part of this. This is what I want to do. And you gotta have a project. There are candidates who've raised $2 million, $3 million. Now, if you candidate is a dum-dum, of which Guyana got many, not everybody's going to make it. It's not 10 people going and vying to make it. The intention here is to choose the best that Guyana has to offer to go and represent us in the world. Project campaign. The candidate supports her position in a passionate and compelling way. From the tone of her voice, there's a strength, effective use of rate, pitch, and expression. There's so much. Financials, the candidate understands the the aspect of her role in fundraising with a complete set of donor project statement, inclusive of donor pledges, also with transactional records. There are so many things you gotta meet, none of which the Miss World Guyana organization is giving you. They guide you to become a better you. So this thing, and I've experienced it before, this thing, watch. You don't come, it's never come and look nice. No man, this is not a Rick Sansari thing. This is not a dance troupe. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Talk to me quickly.
Yes. In reference to the topic you have on the screen there, the African organization.
Oh, Ras, let me deal with them. Me just deal with them. Talk to me.
Receive a substantial amount of money from the government coffer. Only.
Bear in mind.
Only to hear the trash that Vincent Alexander, who would have been reading from a script, a prepared script, listen to the content of that man's statement.
By the way, brother,
trash.
if I may cut you, you see it come up on the PNC page.
Yes. Now, you telling me these projects and these different items of what you would have made a reference to, those items would cost that substantial amount of money? Really?
Brother, listen to me. Listen to me.
There's 200 million in 2 years.
A whole press conference. Let's go and let's all go through this together. Please. Hold.
It's amazing. It is amazing, my brother.
IDPADA-G, at his press conference dated 19th of August 2022, is but another attempt
Call me back as soon as this thing done. We gotta let people understand what we're talking about.
Okay, my brother.
Alright, I call you
At
now.
recent forum of the African Guyanese attended by him, he posed the question, what has Alexander done with the $100 million given to him on behalf of the people of African descent? Coffee 250's annual forum and its provocative topic, the emerging apartheid state, is but another occasion for him to continue his mischievous crusade of misinformation, lies, and defamation. we are
You know what is worrying me about these leaders? They are lecturers. They are supposed to be the educators. And they do not have their issue at heart. They don't know what they want to talk about. They have to have scripts. They have to go around and plan the thing. Truth comes from the heart. It comes naturally.
expose him and his malintent. In the first
The
instance,
people are asking about the $100
he
million.
sought to single out the founders of IDPADA-G Incorporate as the beneficiaries of some private company. IDPADA-G is a not-for-profit company whose directors were the executive members of IDPADA-G, or the Coordinating Council, at the time of the founding of the company. They are not, they are volunteers. They are not in receipt of any material benefits from IDPADA-G. Some are here today to refute the impression that Jagdio sought to convey of them as being beneficiaries of IDPADA-G Incorporate. As a professional outfit, IDPADA-G has a secretariat and paid staff.
Paid staff to the tune of $42 million. And as a guy above me, tell Jack, your tag, but I didn't even know the people exist. Who the help? Where? $42 million? If I got $42 million here, I live the life as we speak now. If I got $42 million a year, I would be like King Juffy Jaffa in Guyana. I kid you not.
It's to their remuneration. The ratio of their salaries to the overall budget is in the range of the public sector's entities' salaries to current expenditure ratio. In other words, our ratio in terms of our salaries to the rest of our budget is no different to what we found in the public.
He's saying our ratio and our salaries, put it half and half. He's saying our ratios and our salaries, and he's just saying there's volunteer? I don't understand. Or the secretariat ratio, the salaries ratio. I don't understand. Hello, good morning.
Morning. Critic, I'm on the open.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I want to tell you something. That one.
Hey. So we want to tag the thing in secret, tag the thing in public, no man. The people don't feel like making up something. You don't want to tackle it here? No, but here now, I take you off just so. Are you gonna speak publicly a little here? Alright, I put the hand back.
But I tell you, it's an old thief. They wanted me to pay $18.5 million for 3 old truck will park up at Princess Street by the city council, and then people just throw garbage. When EPA carried them to court, only to find out it's the old thief truck the registration in, and I never know. The same one who had the thing.
Anytime they come for me, I call your name like that.
I'm telling you, it's an old thief.
You got documents?
And I didn't know that at the time. It's still when they knocked me off, then I
Disclaimer is not me, as she says.
I'm telling you, it's an old thief. Good.
Alright. Oh Jesus, can you put me this ass? Anytime anybody come for me, I call your name and disclaimer. It's not Guyanese Critic, right? It's not Guyanese Critic. And anytime they come for me, I call your name. Nobody carry me to court. Now once she says she shouldn't got documents. Hello, good morning. Yes, brother.
Is the same person that called earlier just now?
Roger that. Do the two half.
When you listen to that man try try to explain to the wider Afro-Guyanese society, I think black people got more sense more than domestic critics. I telling you.
I don't think I know.
That is why the support base is dwindling by the day, my brother. I do a loan survey. Why I'm saying I do a loan survey? Because every day I talk to people. Because I'm a custom broker and you interact with a lot of people of the wider society, you know me.
Yeah.
And the average young Afro-Guyanese have created themselves from the coalition, more so the PNC, and the wider Guyana Forest Circus. I call them Guyana Forest Circus. Because every time they get a meeting, it's a circus show.
No, but you see these people here? Is a set of retirees handling big money, 100, hey, partner.
If you go back into history, right? Little history. If you go back into history, let's use Africa for instance. Africa is a rich place, but the leadership in most countries, they always want to perpetuate and live the lifestyle of a white man. If they could tame the skin, why they would do that? And that is what we have in Guyana. People that just perpetuate a certain responsibility, but in actuality, they're trying to live somebody else's life. Think about it, brother. Hello?
Yeah, I listen to you.
Right? Think about it. Most of the Afro-Guyanese who would have migrated to the U.S. and many parts of the world, especially the ABC countries, when they come back here, most of them never come back here in 25 years.
Listen to me.
I drove a car in New York, nigga. I had a car in New York, nigga. When you got in Guyana, nigga, you ain't got shit, nigga.
Here now. I think
Go in Queens, New York. See what Guyanese.
I think I should sit down.
Anybody, you know?
I think this afternoon I'll call the vice president, find out if he can bring some clarity, because as he said, I want to know where he gets his information. We got to get the facts. We going to bring on Jagdio and let Jagdio deal with this. Don't let me go into what they're saying and all them things, right?
Mr. Jagdio is on fight because he knows what he's saying.
Now here, since you're online, since you're on the line, we're having our next problem. And I think they are not, or this organization is not far from, or separate from, put this on the big page, from the PNC and their actions.
No.
Kaieteur News. Kaieteur News.
Like this guy is for the PN.
Here now. Kaieteur News put up an editorial. What it shared today, this is the recent editorial. What is shared today must be done in the rawest terms, sorry, so that it is printed on the consciousness of all Guyanese exactly what is happening to them. Now, this man, whoever write this editorial went on a tirade and calling Alistair, well, they're using a name that I can't even, the last name I can't even pronounce. But they're suggesting this man is some form of a slave master. And I'm thinking this is an echo of the PNC and the PNC's actions. Now, when I read this editorial, the only thing I can see coming out of this is not a good resolve to the differences we have in this country with the government and the oil contracts that we have. I see unrest in this country. You understand? I see divide in this country. And I'm asking myself, if Glenn Lal getting, watch, old history is making history in today, new Guyana. It is the Guyana of oil.
If you should properly examine or dissect the statement or opinion of way that if you read through the line, you will see the deception in Mr. Glenn himself. Okay?
Massa, here the Exxon and Massa Rutledge. Massa, what are you trying? Is this a direct attack? Now, first thing, why I'm looking at this, I know where it comes from.
Who signed the worst PSA in the history of high production? Not the AP and UAFC? Who took the 18 million US and said it was a figment of the imagination?
Brother, here, Alistair, whoever the man name, I can't even remember the guy's name, sat here and I asked him questions. And when we were finished here, I asked him and I explained in detail what my interest in Exxon was. My interest in Exxon was an open relationship where Exxon can explain to the people what is going on. And the people could ask Exxon themselves. Not to attack Exxon, and people know the see what I do with Marseille. I don't take too lightly to foreign people. You understand?
But Mr. Critic, Exxon is like any investor around the world. They're gamblers. And you got to know to gamble with these gamblers. Okay? When Mr. Jagdeo offered the then government to approach Exxon to negotiate this contract as a team, they said no, they are capable enough of negotiating a proper contract.
And they failed the people miserably.
What we got, now, let me put it in context. Let me just be realistic. You know the opposition, let me say according to the opposition, because I'm not labeling the V. According to the opposition, Mr. Jagdeo is a culprit, right? Okay. Them is angels sent from heaven. They are not culprit. Right? Now, I think if Mr. Jagdeo the negotiator, he was the president, or he was the man to negotiate that contract in 2016, as a culprit, he be, according to the opposition. I think he would have tell Exxon, hey, y'all give me $1 billion US, you might probably take it down to $700 million or $600 million, you give it $200 million and you still give you $400 million.
Something would have happened. They get 18 and they try to hide it and couldn't even hide it.
Exactly. When you have already budgeted 2.5 million US from the government coffer, that is taxes that was collected by the GRA, because the GRA is the largest tax collected in Guyana. Or they collect the most revenue, the bulk of the revenue. If you understand what I mean.
I am hearing you.
Right? Now, if you think that this man is a culprit according to them, before work with this culprit, because I think culprit is a little bit more secure.
No, but one of my worries, in light of the fact that people still take Kaieteur news serious to some extent, is the damage, the irreparable damage that Kaieteur news is causing to this country.
And look at the type of people he's happy.
I sit down and talk to this man, Alistair, right? And for refer to this man as a slave master, now here I tell you, he is the point man for Exxon. So we got to deal with he. You understand? If in the harshest terms possible, whoever you are.
Slave master is the same people like the African organization who get in the lump sum of money from the government and ask them what have they done tangible to change at least 50 black lives. I get a maximum 50. The government is giving the people them to fire 250,000 for help the small business. James Bond made that known. That the PNC people telling the people don't take the 250, but they ain't got one scone to give them, excuse my language.
Brother?
Them is the slave master, not Alistair Rutledge, the Exxon man over it. Them is the slave master, because when you go back into history, black people telling black people to slavery, you know them, Mr. Critic?
I care not to go back there because I'm hoping our black brothers, myself, you, could work the system.
When the man, Mr. Prince, come and, I mean, I know he's a TV support and he talk a bundle of trash the other day. Mr. Kisoon was on point. How could you resolve these issues? Yes, we must move forward. But should we stand aside passively and allow these rhetoric to consume the innocent mind out there without consulting it with the facts? If it wasn't for Jack Deal, we'd never know how much money this organization gets in. Mr. Vincent Alexander, that business he's run, he got a business other than heading these important organizations. Does he have a business that he runs? Or his business is these organizations?
Most of them, if you see, most of the PNC affiliated people, they're not very business oriented, so they have failed miserably in their personal lives, and they actually act as a form of leeches to PNC followers and supporters, where they're part of organizations or associated with things that they get fringe benefits from. They are invited to parties, you understand? They like we just call them drifters.
Yeah. What is Mr. Critic? Mr. Critic. Yeah. Now, the PPC government will have allocated $346 million to support small business. And if anyone should do a thorough analysis based on the data of who would have been the recipients of those grants, the majority is Afro-Guyanese. So how would the PPP discrimination against Afro-Guyanese? Tell me.
My brother, I will try to get a sit down with Jadu this afternoon.
When you get Mr. Jadu on the program tonight, I know you don't really get a call in. But I want to call in and thank you because he's a wise big man. Because Andy, he is one enough Afro-Guyanese own home, drive their own car, own business from 1992 to 2015, or from 1992 to when you would have demitted office in 2011. You could do that analysis for your own self, brother. Because I used to live in Buxton, I went to live in Buxton in 1990. You could have come the number of homes that a TV inside. You could have come the number of yards at potable water. Most of them streets used to be a dam leading into the seawall or the railway embankment. It's 1994, enough people started getting TV in this country, but when courts come to Guyana with the higher purchase thing. You remember that?
Yes. I actually got my first television from Quartz. It was a little, I think a 12-inch TV, and I collected my television with a little VCR thing at the bottom. It was a compact from...
You know, 1994 is when enough people get telephone in the home.
Campan and Regent Street.
Huh?
Yeah.
Mr. Content, you know, 1994 is when a lot of Guyanese know about telephone in the home.
Yeah. I
You
know.
know when the PNC inflamed the streets of Georgetown with violent protests and started to separate Mashimani at Sophia?
My brother, my worry is we have to move forward. And when you see people like Glenn Lal now not only addressing issues like in general the Exxon issue, there is an issue, but address the issue. He has now chosen to personally attack individuals. You know why he attacked the man? Because the man been for me program. Because the man come and explain. When Jagdio go and sit down with Kiana and Glenn, he acted the fool like a big jackass. Kiana walked off the program. She was embarrassed.
We're not talking about who sell out Guyana. You know, Mr. Hyde sold out Guyana. Look at all the privatization that happened after the liberalization of the financial market in 1991. And when Mr. Hyde, after he went to Washington in 1988, the privatization of government-owned companies. You know how much GT&T was sold for in 1990 or 1991? You know how much what the PV had to do to resuscitate back the bauxite in operation in Linden when the PNC government were about to action off that bauxite plant. And most of the workers would have become redundant. If the PPP would have, because of the prudent stewardship, would have been able to secure an investor, which both sides, we have both sides here, the Chinese company now, right? Hello?
Yes, I hear you, brother.
Good. You see a lot of people in this country who don't read, and reading is very important. I love reading. Other than having sex, I like reading. You understand? Real thing, my brother.
You call my name, boy.
Right? It's not if some people, they are so in tune with the street side corner shop Sue. So the Sue is not the man what talk on the news. The Sue is them who's be Sue all the time. You look at the people who's be talking, and they're trying to catapult or position themselves in this exciting unfolding in our country's history. Most of the early Afro-Guyanese are just talking. And you ask them one question to explain on what topic they may be protesting or ranting about. They can't even give you a proper summary because they know nothing about what they actually embraced and against. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, brother.
You ask them about some geopolitical issues and the history of geopolitical conflicts and imperialist influences and all of that. They can't explain that to you. If America met Guyana visa free, I think Guyana might empty. Half of Guyana might go to America. You see when Obama made the visa free, the visa so easy during Obama's time. People going in America just to take out a photograph of the Statue of Liberty. When I went to America.
Brother, I hear you. And I'm looking at Glenn Lyles.
Brother, but I really want to thank the people.
I'll call you this afternoon. You could thank him yourself if we get him
I will do that.
from his busy schedule to explain this.
Imagine an advocate for he and the party so much that I never want nothing from the CPP, my brother. Man, there's so much broken work right now. It's a worker, so much work, I get my hand full. It isn't for the next 50 years, man. It's a 50-year government.
I hear you, safe. I'm looking at. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, man?
Talk to me.
Listen, yesterday I saw you driving around this place when the place is flood and stuff in Bel Air. I see you in Bel Air yesterday. But listen, the reason why all of this flooding going on, when I was young boy, I come east from Phil, and these kind of places named the Housing Authority used to send men out every morning for work. And that man go weed, clean the gutter, fix the road, you got the pothole and stuff like that. You know, all of that done. And all of a sudden give people contract and stuff. We can always got flood if we don't put back people to work in every neighborhood. That's what used to happen when they grow up.
I hear you, brother.
So listen to this. You're supposed to change your show and name it Nothing But the Truth.
Roger that.
You don't laugh, just you show Nothing But the Truth. Not critics. Critics make it sound like you're criticizing people and all this kind of thing. God knows the type of word. But your show is supposed to be Nothing But the Truth.
Roger that. I hear you, brother.
I love you. I love the work that you do. And I like when you drive around and show people. When you see things with your own eye, you can't doubt it.
Yeah. Me not understand here. So brothers call me and ask me for talk on a topic, right? And next thing, me no know, I said right away, me no know, brother. Me play no game. I ain't playing no game. I ain't making up no story.
I like your man. Another thing too. I went in this country. I'm a drone. I got the Phantom 4. But it needs to formalize again. I gotta come and see you, man.
Roger that, no problem. Bring him down and I'll have the technical guys set it up for you.
I know you like that stuff.
Update the firmware. You just gotta update the firmware.
Yeah.
Roger. Yeah, cool.
I love you, man.
Thanks, man. So,
Hear what I'm telling you. You know, remember we started a paper. And when I sit down and looking at Glenlal inciting people, I say, you know something? The paper coming soon. We got to drop the paper. This country needs to be honestly educated. Yes, and this country needs information. The people of this country need information. This kind of crap, Glenlal has met out the personal attacks. And why I have to deal with this, I invite the Exxon head, country manager on my program, for this. Guyanese harbor high hopes, dream bright dreams that their day will come just like the slaves of the old. Kaieteur is a doom and gloom paper. What are these people talking about? I am no slave to no one. We got business relations with people. A man come here, white man come here, sit down in here, talking to me about the business dealings we got. How I become a slave and he become a slave master. Good morning, sir.
I just want to make something clear. I just hear the last call my name just now there, but Freddie Young was not right. You know, when I had called, I had made specific shout out to Freddie about what he had confronted David Hines about the things that WPA and UPNOV did. But my whole thing was that with Freddie case, you understand me, and David Hines, I had a problem with both Freddie and David Hines because both of them, in my opinion, kind of schizophrenic because at one time Freddie was lambasting this government, so till shit gets shite on he and all these different things. You understand me?
no, but your difference is, Aaron, if I may, is that them in over the depot and you is a full-fledged PvP. This is the only problem I see.
But that's what I was trying to say. You understand me? I was saying that you had two persons there arguing, two old folks. You understand me? Two old folks that come through the lines. You understand me? So how can you actually, me saying, don't take Freddie serious in what he was saying, right? I say take him serious. But then there was a time where Freddie was so much at the PvP throat and Jack Leo throat and was
My brother, what you're not saying is that Freddie was lying.
I didn't say he was lying.
Well, shut your ass. At the time when Freddie was talking, I too believe what I was hearing. I believed the PNC. And you could have seen the complacency in the PvP. They were doing their bullshit. They needed a wake up.
Yes, I never said he was lying.
You could have had people shy. No, here la, Freddie talking. And Freddie, the shy shit in Freddie's face. That is how ridiculous they were at the time.
A lot of nonsense about PvP and what's not and about Jack Dio and what's not. And then you understand me to come today and to putting himself over. So how can you actually take what he's saying serious? That's what my opinion is. And then you have two guys.
My brother, why you have to
move away from that? Me already want.
Let's not develop, and that is what I don't want to be a part of. I don't want to be a part of a culture that eats up whatever people say, line, sink, and hook. Y'all sleeping in the studio there? I don't want to be a part of a culture, and I have never been a part of a culture that takes up what people say, line, sing, and hook. I am saying we have to make sure the information that are given to the people is fruitful. Look at what Glenlal is doing presently. He's meting out personal attacks to a gentleman because he came into my studio and sat here and answered all my questions. Glenlal can't. The man wouldn't go up on Glenlal because Glenlal is a jackass and we're asking stupid things. I don't hear. You know, Mr. He said, come, but I'm saying, man, we can get a problem.
And I am fond of Uncle Glenn. And I don't want to embarrass him or have to insult him on his own program. He's inept.
He does that himself. He contradicts himself and was you see Freddie, look at it. Look at one of the contradictions that I was speaking about. Freddie put up a thing the other day that he haven't been given a raise to pay in how much in 15 years or something. But still yet you get Glenn Lalap talking about people not being paid and this and what's not. You understand me?
So how does that's Glenn
Huh?
No, but thing, if somebody working for me and you ain't take me, what is he man? You gotta relax yourself.
They was saying if you would ask me for a raise.
Me? Not me, boy.
How we gonna know you want a raise?
Me nigga aisle money here. Me ain't get none of the aisle money. I work hard for me money too. Cost of living going on.
If you could go to work free every day for your employer work, you understand me? And you would say, well, hey, boss man, I want my money. You think the man give you? No, he gonna give you.
Listen, here was me worry.
I have nothing against Freddie, you know.
Here what is my worry. I think we need to keep a close eye on Exxon. Exxon is a corporation, one of the largest corporations in the world. This means a lot to Guyana's development. I think we need to keep a close eye on Exxon. But
that is exactly what you did. I appreciate what you did with bringing that guy on your program and what's not. But Glenn wouldn't appreciate that because
no, but we can't be making out attacks to people, because when you start a fight with the Guyanese and Exxon, that does not exist. What's the fight about? Who going to fight? The PNC people who the PNC put in it and try to take 18,000 without them knowing? 18 million?
That is exactly the point. Do you understand me?
Here. Let me call it a day. I go in and call up these people and see how we could make preparation to get this weekly paper out fast. Let me call it a day. Yeah, I'll take care.
All right.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning. Good morning to you and your viewers.
Good morning, brother.
I call in concern this money that the government giving these groups in Guyana, this African descendants group.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I tell you, the government, the PP need to stop giving group money for Afro-Guyanese. The PP need to get in the Afro-Guyanese committee, speak to the Afro-Guyanese people themselves, and give whatsoever belongs to them, give them directly. You understand? Because these people that run around and say them looking after Afro-Guyanese don't know nothing about Afro-Guyanese. They don't know. You ask these people how much Afro-Guyanese people they visit, how much Afro-Guyanese people they sit with on the ground and talk with. These people is a high-class society people just intend to get money for themselves. You understand? People need grants to come out of poverty. You understand? If the people put $250 million every year in that budget and give 25,000 Afro-Guyanese $250,000 grant a year come, if it's that they got to get, you check how much they go counter poverty. Yeah? Let me tell you something. If you give a young man $250,000 to start a black business, he can buy two slings of cement, he can buy 2 truckloads of sand, and you'll get money for running, for buy food and all kind of thing for what's one.
Here now, them people Alexander say, them do some survey for $4 million. Me could set up for this program. Me give away 2 here. They check 3,000 people. Me give away, buy the tickets and give away 300 tickets between me and us. 250 from me and 50 from me. Give away and pay a workman $10,000 for a handy ticket over people. The whole thing costs about what? $610,000. And everybody get a tangible thing. They did a survey that God in heaven knows what. They do a survey flooding and the government come and give everybody money. So what's the purpose of this survey?
Well, I don't know where they survey and where they do the survey. You understand?
Nobody never see them. Nobody don't know them. They must spend $42 million a year in salary. Who? Some secretariat?
You see the whole thing, when they come on, you see they come on with, they receive 10 million, they're not admit up to the like today, they receive all this money. They might mix up the thing to make people feel confused.
No, but here was my worry. Are they Indian organizations that get money to the same tune? What's this? What's this? Does the government give Indian organizations and Amerindian organizations?
I want to find out if the government fund the Indian
I'll ask Jagyo. I'll ask Jagyo this afternoon. What about Amerindians? And if it's not the same amount of money, is it proportionally represented? Yes, sir. Because the same amount of money, the Indians supposed to get more because the population Indian is bigger. And the Amerindians gotta get less because they is just 10% of the population. Or maybe 10% of the population. Then want to we Portuguese people, we gotta get something.
Right. But let me tell you something. It's time now. The PPP stop them fear of going to Africa. The PPP have enough.
No.
Africa in its activities.
I know how long. I know what year you've been back in this country. The PPP, and that's what shows how the PPP is making inroads. And it creates a discomfort for the PNC. The PPP walks into any community now. Charles Ramson, nice go with Minister Charles Ramson. Agriculture, all them are going and get with everybody and take care of everybody. Because people know, them people in that position, when they come, they're looking after your problem. So there's a thing of the past. This is the first thing. There's unrest. And this doom and gloom you hear from the PNC and from Kaieteur News. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know who they're talking about. I don't know who they're talking to. But I'm seeing the stories. You understand?
Yes,
No, you here. I want you to read. Tomorrow morning we're going to talk about it again. I want you to read the editorial from Kaieteur News. And they attacked and Alice. And I want to know if the white people were the racists and the slave masters. If we were the slaves, if we still slave, if they're still a slave master. I want to know where this confusion comes from. I am confused.
People just call people, are ignorant what the PNC just use and call the blacks and the PP out slave and all kind of thing. Yeah, so and I ask the question, the Indians in them party, who is them? If the black or the MPP is out slave, who is the Indian in your party? Some people just use words and a think.
Bye. Church, thanks for your input. I'm going to work on my paper immediately. When I sit down and look at Glenn Lal, I know where's his problem. He ain't got no competition. And we're bringing a newspaper that's going to show him how a newspaper in the 21st century should be run. Y'all take care. Thanks for your time and your input.
Let me tell you, when you reach the judge this afternoon, you ask him if he can't put money in the budget to give Afro-Guyanese grant directly.
All right. I hear you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your input as always. This is an open forum, and as one caller said, the truth and nothing but the truth. Thank you again for all your support and love. The Guyanese Critic out.